At Money2020, I'm talking to Olga Zoutendijk, who just gave a presentation about, with Connie Doorstein, about the innovation. I mean, this whole place, fintech, the world, you say it basically comes out of the collapse out of the 2008 crisis, right? I mean, it's really, good things come out of crises.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen a collapse of trust, and we've seen a collapse of really knowing, what customers need and what society expects. And the positive thing that's come out of that is that fintech burst forward. Here we're talking about small companies close to their customers, right? It's more appealing right now, but it also sends a message to the banks, right? They have to restore trust. Right, this is the first step. Right, forget about building your app and everything. You have to do that too, but the first step is to restore trust. And that's where the news is not so good. If you look at the well-known Richard Edelman Trust Barometer, we see that it went up a little bit slowly up past the crisis, past the crisis, but now it's going down again in the last couple of years.
Why is that?
I think there's just there's a lack of transparency. So there's major distrust towards big institutions such as banks and government. And it has to do with transparency. How is money made? Why we charge these fees? How does that make sense?
But they never complained about that, really. I mean, and why now? Why then? 8 years after the crisis, after we had a boom run, we had a fantastic economy of growth. Why would they have the trust? Why would the trust go down?
Well, I think I think people see so many changes around them, and it's all happening so fast, right? They need something to hold on to, and the connection is just not there, right?
But never spoil a good crisis. What do you see in this fintech? What do you see out of this fintech world? What is so good about it? What do you, in what different parts do you see innovation?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for banks. Right, because you might have 1,000 fintechs, right, that do one thing extremely well, and that's fantastic. But I mean, are you going to want to do that? Customers want to deal. I don't want to deal with one company, right? That pulls it all together for me. But then I got to trust that company, right? So I think this is a great opportunity for banks, but only for those banks that have earned the trust, right, of their customers, their employees, of society, and that have taken the steps to adapt and open up. I mean, they do have to digitalize, right? I mean, they have to have they have to be able to analyze my customer data and give me a relevant insight.
So they have to integrate those services, but they have to start with trust. Well, you're very familiar with the American way of banking, the European way of banking. What is the difference? What is the difference in how we basically use that fintech opportunity?
Well, I think for me the contrast is not so much between America and Europe. For me the contrast is much more between, let's call it the developed world and the developing world. So partly Asia, but even more so Africa, right? So continents that are able to now leapfrog straight into all the exciting possibilities that technology offers, and that aren't dragged back or held back, right, by systems that are industrial age systems, right? So
we have an enormous amount of legacy, and that's basically pulling us back.
Yeah.
America is just as bad as Europe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And if you look at you went to China, and you saw that cash money is just almost impossible, and everything is QR, and it's big and it's scaling. What do you think is the lesson for that?
Well, I mean, this is where it's going to go, right? And I mean, if we don't jump on that bandwagon, Alipay will do it for us. And by the way, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that, right? If they are the best trusted partner, right, in this wide ecosystem of people working together to do that, well, great. But from a European bank point of view, I'd like to see, it won't be everybody, obviously, right? But I'd like to see some European banks, right, take that trusted place, working with many other parties in an open marketplace.
How are we doing in Holland? Well, as a banking world.
Yeah, but I think I mean, Richard Edelman's Trust Barometer for Holland is not pretty either. There's a lot of work.
But I always have the feeling that we have a great payment system, we have great services, the prices are extremely reasonable, the service of the bank is pretty good. I mean, we don't have so much to complain about in Holland.
No, I don't think we have anything to complain about, but I think we will be wanting more. And we will want more, and certainly the generation behind us, right, is going to want to have a completely different way of interacting. And in any event, this is where it's headed. It's headed to one open marketplace where everybody does their bit. So to try and stay as a monopoly with your own core, 30-year-old system within that, and then put some apps on top, it's just not going. It's just not the way of the future. It's not going to work in the age of data.
So last question: what are you doing now?
I'm with Julius Baer now. I'm in the board of directors, and it's fantastic. It's Zurich-based. It's a 150-year-old bank. They are focused on ultra wealthy. So you can't be a jealous person, because then you're really, these riches, it's of the clients. It's just mind-boggling, right? But it's a multinational bank, and what I love about them is they're very customer-focused. Like truly, they will. And they
will go the extra mile.
Exactly. They will tailor make it. So that spirit, right? That customer service and real knowledge of banking, it's great for me to.
And their IT systems with 150 years, how are they doing?
Well, they're not 150 years old, but I will not deny that also in wealth management, right? And for wealth management banks, there are some serious challenges and choices to make. Right?
What do you do? What's your role?
I'm in the governance and risk committee. I'm in the audit committee, so I'm there once a month for a couple of days. And
you still live in Holland?
Yeah, I still live in Holland. Yeah,
well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.